Yeah, okay. So, hi everyone. Mr. Kish, I was thinking about this coil, and I was thinking, can we use something like this as a source of energy? Like in the middle, we have a coil, and we have free plasma generated in there. So this can be
Ali, I think
itself.
you got to move out of Canada. I'll tell you why. This is what I thought. If are people ready for us to disclose? You can
Okay.
use it as a power. This morning I had to go to a meeting. The guy most probably is listening, a French guy, very nice scientist.
Hmm.
And on the way there and back, I had this in my head. Can we go to the next step? Are the people there to see it? And then, as usual, you come up with this. Now, as I said, let's teach.
Okay.
I hope those of you who understand will be enlightened in a different way. What you showed us now is this. What you're asking is that I have to get my painting. I have to go home. Okay. What you're asking, if you can put this coil in this system to extract the energy of the plasma which you have created in the center. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. You have created a plasma here and you want to tap into its energy. The answer is yes. It will be extremely powerful. And if you can make a double coil of it, can somebody tell me why I can't hold on to the bar?
Click next to the question mark and it will remain there. On
Where
the
is
right
it?
side, next to the question mark on the blue, yeah, put this nail in.
Ah, thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So now what you got to remember, make it two. You have to have the two. So double coil it. Then you take both gravitational magnetic field from it. But that is not important at all. You open the door, I teach you more. Take your double coil, what you made, and put inside it your rotating coil. Do you remember those gans coils you made? A lot of you made a lot of coils, gans coils. Place it in the center. Those gans coils you made, now receiving the power from your coils becomes a very powerful system. This is what I wanted to do in March and April when you come here, or after April, May, whatever. This is the way. Then with your coils you can control the direction of the flow of the field. You don't keep your coils steady in one place as they are. By moving the coils in either direction, you automatically control the direction of the flow of the plasma from the center. You dictate direction of motion. Do you understand? So instead of putting the coils, yes, you can get a huge amount of energy out of the coils. If you get the right structure in the coil, you can produce most of the spectrum of the energy of the plasma. If you connect and put your coil, the rotating coil, in the middle, and put your coils around your core and run the two, you will find the creation of the field another way. Very powerful. So you enhance the energy in a multiple fold. But then you have to find a way to energy your motors through a plasmatic condition, or just create a coil that it has a gans that you can create rotation in it. Then this way you achieve what we saw with our friends in Australia. You create a coil and you run a core inside a coil. You compress the gravitational field so heavy that the building of the, what do you call it, the tree structure stays the same. Very powerful. You can use the coil, but at the same time you can use your cores to create this single core coil. The way you see it here was the very first. If you go into the history of man, we used to see the spaceships like this. The spaceships like this are new ventures. And these coils, these cores, you used to use a very similar system like this to it. They used to move the gravitational field, magnetical field, by rotating, controlling very similar process as this, the coils you have. So you have the core in the center. That's why we did the cores. We remember, if you remember the cores, the copper cores, and there we made. And then the control of it was done through this kind of operation. Because you can turn this way, you change the direction that way. And then you could turn this up, you could elevate that way. Or you could bring it in line, you go in that direction and in this way. This is the old version. Very original spaceships which visited the Earth use this kind of near technology. And it's very powerful. Its structure is very solid and is very, very protective. When you land on a given space position you are not aware of, this is one of the best things to use. You're like an egg, is you solid. But the time in development of the space technology in the space, we have learned the star formation at this moment with the knowledge of universe is one of the best. So you can even use the same combination here. Single core, double core, double coil, single core has been used extensively in the past. And you still see the primitive space people use it. But it's one of the best ways to use it. But you can put a coil because then now you extract the energy you want from it. You can use it as a battery. It's very powerful. So you can create a what do you call it? The GANS battery capacitor, connect it to the coil and the core, and you find that you achieve a new dimension, because now the plasma of the GANS is free here in the center. And the field forces of this creates rotation in the GANS, and you control the speed by the plasma flow. So if you look at it, it's very much, you have a core which has got a GANS in it, and then you have the coils which are, I'll put it this way, on the outside. the field forces from your double core, everything has to be double. You don't use a single coil. And then when you put your gans inside, as we've seen this one, like a ping pong ball with Rick has, now this you don't rotate it anymore. In the motor system, you rotate it. In this, if by control of the fields in these, you create rotation, and then you start creating the magnetic field, and then the plasma of the two will become very powerful, and it creates a spherical, more or less egg shape. But it's upside. It's a, with this what we have seen up to now, it's very hard to make a shape like this. You make a shape like this. Your spaceship will have this kind of shapes.
And the core, there's no coil. It's just like a ping pong ball in the core. Is that
Ping
right?
pong ball, yes, and the gans.
Gans, yeah.
Rick is the master of it. Orange color, you like balls?
Yes, of course.
So he made orange balls very, very famous. So this is the when you see it, or you can do the same thing. You can connect the double core to the polarity of your system, and you'll find a more powerful power supply. Instead of putting the coil, you can use the gans core, and then the right connection, you'll find a different. Then you can control the power supply.
Here's another.
There. Pardon?
There's another idea as well that just came to mind with that, with the rotating ping pong ball idea. If you vacuum out a ping pong ball, like under relatively high vacuum, but not complete vacuum, so there's still a little bit of air left in it, and then rotate it at high speed, when you put your hand on it, it actually does create a plasma inside that ping pong ball. And in the dark, you can see the purple plasma. It's an old technique that comes from the Hawkesbury device back in the 1600s, where they rotated a glass globe that was evacuated, had a partial vacuum in it, and people would put their hands on this rotating globe, and it would create a glowing plasma that you could actually read a newspaper by.
But now you have those two coils which do that for you.
Right, yeah. But you might be able to interact with it as well. You might be able to interact with it as well as a control system. I was thinking using the hands again. Wouldn't have to touch the ball, just be close to it.
No, so, but that will give you you will see the spherical ball this way anyway, if you do it.
Yeah, the idea was to use this as a power source for star formation. So these will be the new batteries for the star formation, and that would give us a really powerful shielding effect and in the star formation.
Yes, it will do, but you can do it with the core and the coil.
Okay.
The way I showed, but you will see in this condition, you will see a full structure. But these are very primitive, very used millions of years ago. They are extremely primitive system. You have no control. There's a lot of problem with maintaining field strength inside. It's very jittery, because the field within the structure is not totally covered all the time. So external fields, high field forces from external, which is above your field inside, can interfere with the system. The spaceship star formation is stable because it covers in a way the totality. You have always three systems covering one. If one fails, but you still have your base to hold on to. Here it's very dangerous. I'll put it this way, there's been a lot of losses in the time. But it's still used. It's a good test if you want to test it. Get one of your ping pong balls, make sure there is nothing in it, fill it up with a huge amount of gans, and put it inside the coil. None of them have to touch each other. You cannot touch. You have to keep them separate from each other. Then, yes, you will start the creation, and one of the things you will see uh, is that you will see the shape, you will see the structure. But this is a very, 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 it's a very strange system, but try it, you will see it.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Right.
as Rick said, if you can create a vacuum in it, you will see the same. But if this process usually creates the rotation of the GANs. It'll be nice to use composite GANs here. Do not rotate it. Very slight amount if you need to, but you don't need to rotate it. If you can hang it, and then use a vacuum conditioned gas production, gas injection. We will show these in time to come. And strange enough, I was thinking about this morning, going to a meeting and coming back, and then you come up with this, says, can we do this? Yes, you can.
Excellent.
And this is what I wanted to teach today. But it's nice now. I told you somehow you lot understand. The souls will start talking, and the body will follow.
Of course.
This is all of you can make it at home and see the first glowing light. All of you who've been in there, and Rick said if you can make a vacuum in it, and if you can make a vacuum and just add the ganses, that you can create a mixture of ganses with the rotation in it, you will get it. Because the field flow in these two will create the rotation in, because it's all plasmatic.
I think the vacuum and GANs would be a really good combination to free up the GANs and allow it to move the way it would want to in that space.
Oh, I'll do better than that. You watch. I know Rick will be at it. He doesn't get much time to sleep, but by Tuesday we'll see one. Somebody will get it. Marco, please lock up the lab. Don't let Arman in it, because he'll be there. Arman has everything in the lab to be able to do this.
Yep. The other thing I was thinking about was that human body has a chakra system or energy centers, and similar to the 9 coils in the middle or the 12 coils, we have a number of higher chakras. So if we sit in the middle of a triangle, the star formation, even without the middle coils, we sit in the middle. Then we project 3 type of as you said, emotions or something on
Stop
3.
talking. Stop talking. You force teaching.
Okay.
Okay. Now I tell you what happens. In the star formation, you have the 3 reactors. Knowing that they are made of the gans, doesn't matter if you made the coils yourself. You put a reactor here on the top to make the full star formation. You still can do that. You can do the same by setting a star formation and put a human body inside. Looking at this is upright. This is the 4th one. If you look, let's do it this way that you can see it. You have your 3 reactors, and we sit a man here in the center of it. If you look up as it comes to you, your head, your brain, which is made of the gans, is become the 4th reactor. And through it, you can control your chakras. You understand?
Yes.
So you can put, this is why I can never remember the guy's name on Tuesday, when I said to put his head on it. What's his name?
His name is
Kassel. Yeah. So what happened, because your brain is made of the GANS material itself, and with operation of these, you become part of the structure. You don't need to build the 3 pyramids. You can become, this is one of the ways to control, to bring the control system in flight. And when you move out, you don't have the control. That's how you hand over controls. You sit within the structure of the plasma, which creates the spaceship, and as part of it, you sit in the center of it. That's where you find what you call your captains. His head, his brain, is part of the structure within the pyramid. And that's how he becomes the controller. He decides. His awareness controls. He sees, he decides, and his emotion dictates the fields and direction of the motion. That's what we saw on Tuesday. The guy makes a system, and I've told you this is the instantaneous control. Now you can do it in a much easier way. When you set up your reactor condition, you set up your what you call the captain or the controller at a point that the position of his seating is in a position of interaction, which his emotion and thoughts decide the ship, the direction of motion. Or you place a remote control in that position that is affect the other ones. This is instantaneous wireless communication with your flight system. You don't need a stick, you don't need a joystick, you don't need anything. If he decides with his thought that he wants to open this doorway or entry, it will be open that way because he creates the entrance. These are the structures that we will teach as we come to it. So your what you call the star formation. Within a star formation, within it, because it's made of one, you control the whole thing without even touching anything. You don't need that. You don't have a control panel. But then you train people who their extension is in the direction of protection. You don't have what do you call it? People looking for things. They work in the same way with a field understanding of the environment. These are the control system for protection and directional motion, which you will bring in as we go. You don't build a control system. You build a system that by a structure you control it through your thoughts. You don't create anything else with it. So what we've seen on the extension of the knowledge on Sunday, as I said, you bring, I teach. Now you sit your man here. And in that, you control the craft because he's part of it. And if you get your structure of your spaceship bit, he controls through that the structure of the craft, and you get a full condition protection. In a very, very old systems, they used to put emotional system in the middle of the reactors. I'll teach you how to make an emotional system that you communicate with. There is a reactor which only reacts to emotion. A very old system, not used much in the space nowadays, it's old fashioned. But you can make it. But you place it like a brain of the man in the center of the structure. And through it, you control the physical structure of the craft, the speeds and everything else of it. It's a very, very small, it's a pinhead. It's a very small system that you put in the center. If you go back to the structure of the reactor which we made for the energy, I already planted it in. It's a very tiny things. People who are in the Sensano have seen it. In there, you place the emotional fields, and then it controls the gravitational and magnetic field.
Mr. Keshe, this is Denny. I'm from America, from Idaho, and I just want to interrupt just for a moment, not because it's something great or not. It's just that since you're having a star formation, can you use 4 people? You got the one person for the head. Why can't you have 3 people for the base reactors?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
I hope you understand what you're talking about.
Well, maybe somebody will. Thanks.
You're welcome. Human beings, brain, is one of the best sources of gans. If you could establish the same formation we talked, and it's all of the same, yes, you can achieve. Most of the passengers of the space travel in 4